And now, the fourth and final chapter of the 30,000 subscriber questions and answers series. That's my chair, by the way. I'm not just ripping them while I'm recording. I edit all those out. Should have Cinnabon do that. Just teasing. So, oh, he's doing something. Oh, he's all tired today, aren't you? Look at how he stretches it. How cool is that? First question in the final video is for your Q&A. Yep. Why do you review junk food / snacks on your channel? I miss the days when you could acknowledge and reply to comments, but I understand life gets busy and you have so many subscribers now, but I still miss it. So they had kind of a statement in there too, I guess. I'll adjust the question. So why do I review junk food and snacks on your channel? Because they're tasty and I like them. So I did do one or two healthy videos, probably at least one. You know, maybe I'll do a banana or an apple review or something like that in the future as well. You know, we'll see. As far as your comment go, yeah, I know. I used to be able to read all the comments and pretty much acknowledge all of them. I would, heart all of them or most of them and reply to most of them or some of them. And now I don't even have time to read them all. There's just too many. It's not a bad thing. It's unfortunate that I can't respond to all of them. If I could, I would. But at the time I stopped doing that, it would take me about 2 to 3 hours a day. And that's just not possible. I work full time and there's no way I can do it and maintain a healthy mental life. So sorry for that, but it is what it is. I do get notifications on YouTube of a handful of questions or comments rather. And so I try to respond to those, but I miss a lot too. And it's what it is, man. It's just having conversations with my brother, who's a veteran YouTuber. He's been using YouTube for a long time. So he was surprised that I was even able to keep up with the comments as long as I did. So that's just how it is. Next question. What do your family, friends, and work colleagues think of you having a YouTube channel with a famous cat that now has 30K subs? Are they surprised? Oh, a lot of them are surprised. A lot of them are surprised of how many people watch the videos. That and also, what do they think of it? They think it's really cool. They all think it's great. A lot of them are surprised, as I mentioned before, that people are so into Cinnabon. But I mentioned them, a lot of people watch the videos, not only to see a cute cat, they find them therapeutic, or if they had a rough day at work, it calms them down. We all have different responses to content that makes us behave certain ways or feel certain ways. So that's totally cool. That's part of the reason I do it, is it's therapeutic for people. So I feel like I'm helping. And it's fun kind of documenting Cinnabon. It does take a lot of time editing, and I edit now. I used to not edit the old days, right? And occasionally I do old school style videos like that. But for the most part, there's editing involved. There's uploading comments, all that kind of stuff. So largely people think it's really cool. Some think it's unusual, but hey, whatever. It's almost 2020, right? We do whatever we want. There's far worse things you can be doing with the internet, right? That's what I say. Another question. Has he ever slept an entire night with you in bed without getting out of bed or waking you up? Maybe once, if at all. I don't know for sure. I think he did one time, but he usually jumps out of the bed. Oh, that's my email. But yeah, he usually jumps out of bed around 3:30 in the morning. Question. Does Cinnabon drink lots of water? Because I always watch him eat dry and wet food, but rarely drinks. He drinks all the time. It's just normally he doesn't... he's never really thirsty. When I put food down, he just loves mowing down the food. When I put water down, he doesn't really drink it immediately. So usually when he's drinking water, it's I notice him doing it while I'm sitting far away, and by the time I get to him to try to film it, he's done with it. So he does drink for a while. But I don't know, I just don't really film him drinking water. It's cute though when he drinks water. I just usually don't capture it on film, because when I put the water dish down, he's usually not thirsty. He's always just drinking whenever he feels like it. I see him drink probably at least once a day. And when he drinks this for a while. Good question, though. Have you ever thought about Lex and Cinnabon merch? Yes, I have. I'm thinking about the best way to do that. Right now, working full time, my day job or whatever, I'm not able to really commit to putting out good merch. There's companies that I can work with that handle most of the shipping, but then you lack the control of the quality, and I'd rather have the items in my hands first to make sure they're good. But something I'm looking into. If something happens, it won't be for a while yet. But I'm probably not going to be able to do it to the extent I want to. If I do it, it'll start out with stickers, maybe magnets. possibly t-shirts in the future, but that requires a lot of work. I'm not against doing it. I'm thinking of some cool designs and slogans. I'll need to come up with a graphic, maybe a couple slogans. It'll be fun. It'll be light natured, of course, family friendly channel. I'm not going to do anything, scary or whatever, or adult, but it'll be cool. It'll probably happen when, I don't know. I apologize. I don't have a definitive time, but it's definitely, I'm thinking about it, and it's probably going to happen, but I don't know when. Don't know when. Not yet. Someday. Does he sleep inside with you at night and then goes outside when you're at work? Yeah, for the most part, like I mentioned before, he'll want out pretty early on. Here we go. Moving on. How old were you when you first held your first real gun and shot one? Now, when I was little, my mom used to take me to like Civil War reenactments, so I would hold a couple of those. They're really heavy. As a kid, they would usually help you. Not counting that, it would probably be when I was 12 when I shot my first real gun. It wasn't mine. It was somebody else's, a friend of my dad's, but probably 12 or a little bit before. Have you? Oh, by the way, the next 10 questions are from. Excuse me. The next 11 questions are all from one person, so that's totally fine. In fact, they submitted more too, I think. Okay, have you planned out or started on Bonbon's possible tower or scratching post yet? No, I haven't. A lot of people want me to do that though, so that means it's probably going to happen eventually. What do you like most about your family? I like that we all have similar interests, which makes sense, and we can spend time together still as a family sometimes, which is nice when we're all, in the same area at the same time. I see Cinnabon sleeping inside more, but how many nights in a row has he not shown up to your house? He has. There have been times where he's been gone for like 2 days or 1.5 and 2 days. That hasn't happened in several weeks, which is nice because it worries you when that happens. But it's been a long time. In the past, there have been days where he was gone for a while. Yeah, what were you doing, man? How often do you see your family members and spend time with them? I've heard you say that you see them on some Sundays. Is this more of a family tradition? I guess so. Sunday, if I go to church, I usually stop by, or sometimes I don't go to church and just stop by my parents' house. We don't live very close. I mean, it's all relative, right? We're probably 35, 40 minutes apart, which isn't terrible. It could be a lot farther. But yeah, I see them at least once a week or every other week. Do you think that they'll ever be in your channel for us to meet them, or are they more private people? Yeah, you probably see them. You've seen my brother before. Do you have any tattoos? If not, do you want any future? I don't have any tattoos right now. In the future, I'm not against them. I don't know if I need any right now, but I probably will. If I do, it'll be something religious or maybe political. You and your brother are very comical. Do you get that from your mom or dad, or neither? That's a good question. I don't know. My brother and I have very different senses of humor, but we're both fairly dark. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question. But I don't know. It's something we just kind of have on our own, I guess. Did you ever find the missing small cat toys? Haven't seen the tiny crinkle balls for a while. Yes, actually, they were buried in a Cinnabon's little toy chest cupboard. So I found them the other day because after I saw your question, I'm like, I gotta check this. But yeah, there's probably one or two hidden or lost somewhere in the house. What is something your parents or friends would warn us about you? What a great question. I don't know. How would I know, right? Unless I found out there's someone else. This is like the job interview question, like what's your greatest weakness kind of thing. And most people don't think or dwell on that. I don't know. Maybe I can be distant sometimes, perhaps. In regards to Cinnabon's burrs, did you know that spraying some water on them helps to remove them easier? You can get little tiny clear spray bottles that come in a pack of 3 found in the paint craft section of Dollar Tree. If you're interested in trying that for him, it might be a little less uncomfy for him. Yeah, I can try that. He probably is not going to like being sprayed with water, but we can try. Maybe. What's a question you'd like to answer but no one asks? I don't know. Maybe what's your dream car? I'm very practical. My dream car was a 2010 Ford Explorer with a V8 engine in black, but now it's probably a dark red Ford Ranger 2019 plus, but that's a little out of my price range, so I'm going to have to wait a little bit on that one. We have them at work and they're really fun to drive. How long did it take you to save for a home? I didn't buy the house outright. Most people, especially in America, usually can't afford to just outright buy a house without a mortgage, which is basically a loan. So for the down payment, typically, at least in America, you want to pay 10 to 20% of the total. 20% is ideal. But the down payment I saved over a couple of years living with my parents and then dropped that on the house. And I guess for all you youngsters out there, if you do have a mortgage, pay off as much as you can as quickly as you can. So if your bill is, let's just say, $800 a month, you want to, if you can, pay off a little bit extra off the principal every month. So if your bill is $800, pay $50 extra off the principal, or $100 extra off the principal. When I say principal, it means the overall amount owed. And then when you pay off the principal, it's just going to knock that debt down quicker. Even $50 a month can save you years as far as having to pay the house off. If you have a 30-year mortgage, if you pay $100 extra a month, in my example, it'll knock off 5 years of the total time it takes to pay the house off. And that's dependent on your mortgage or your interest rate. I don't want to get all Dave Ramsey on you, but if you have a mortgage, which most of you do if you have a house, you want to pay it off as early as you can. And I'm definitely going to pay mine off early. What do you have in store for future reviews? Oh, that's a good question. Probably more junk food and maybe some more healthy options. The review videos people don't seem to like them as much as the other videos of Cinnabon, but they're kind of fun for me to do, I guess. Are you flattered by the compliments you're getting from your lady viewers? Yes, I guess. How do you feel about it? I think some were even playfully fighting over you. That's kind of funny. I think so. It's just playful. How do you feel about it? It doesn't feel bad, of course, and no one would say they feel bad about it. It's a little different because it's not in person, so it's not, I shouldn't say it's not real, but it makes far less of an impact as if it would in real life, because you can't really move forward with any of them, obviously, because most people are pretty physically distant, right? But it is pretty funny. Instagram is a different story. If people on Instagram obviously can directly message me, so you can probably imagine some of the messages I get. From women, they're really not that bad for the messages. You get some interesting ones. The worst by far has been typically guys, not to dog on people outside of the U.S., but there have been some really creepy dudes from typically different countries, and that's just I can't help but screenshot some of them and send them to my friends. I'm like, look at this person saying. It's just the weirdest thing ever. There's one specifically where, yeah, and if you're watching this, sorry, but you should know better. But somebody wanted me to pretend to be their boyfriend in a brief video to make their exes jealous. I told them do the American thing and tell them to, I don't want to repeat it here. I told them a very appropriate American response to people that were bothering them. So, yeah, very strange, but that's annoying too. I don't like that. Chelsea Gregg asks, can you say my name? LOL, I just did. What's your shoe size? How tall are you? Sounds like Chelsea is sizing me up. So shoe size 13, how tall am I? 6'1". How does Cinnabon feel about your beard? And what is the hardest challenge of having a cat after being on your own for so long? Good questions. Cinnabon probably doesn't mind my beard, I guess. The hardest challenge of having a cat after being on your own, when you do live by yourself, and this applies to when you have somebody move in or if you get married or whatever, when you live by yourself, you get used to peace, and because you're by yourself, what drama is there going to be? There's going to be no drama, pretty much. So you get used to that tranquility, and if you're orderly neat like I am, when people walk in and out of that and then make messes, it's kind of annoying. You just deal with it. As far as Cinnabon, like when I get home from work or from being out, you can't immediately do what you want to do because you have to be attentive towards the animals' needs because you're responsible for them. So if they need food, give them food. If they make a mess, you clean it up, pick their toys up, play with them, give them attention. So there's that. You can't just do what you want to do because you have an additional responsibility. So that is that page. So the final page total of our 4-part series here. Actually, I think I'm going to do this and show Cinnabon. It's an appropriate way to wrap this up, I think. So thank you. Cinnabon is grooming his toes or paws. What is the most rewarding thing about being owned by Cinnabon? That's funny. I don't know. Just that I got a new friend, right? That's kind of fun. A good friend. He's a nice kitty. You're a good cat, aren't you? Do you ever read kitty stories to Cinnabon? What a cute question. No, but I am thinking about getting a couple or one or two books, like children's books that are open to the public domain so I don't get in trouble for reading them completely. But I might do that. It might be a little weird, but I might get a couple of fun books, preferably ones about cats, and read it as if I'm reading a book to kids. I mean, it sounds kind of weird, but I think certain kids might like it because there are little kids that watch these YouTube videos. I get people at work that tell me their young son or daughter watch the videos, and that's kind of cool. One of the reasons I keep it clean, well, mostly clean. There's probably a couple comments here and there that are a little bad, but whatever. I really enjoy the videos. Will you do a bonfire one day? Yes, I will. I haven't had one in a while, and I need to have a party at my house again. I'll probably do that. Maybe have 5 to 10 people over, maybe later this month, and I'll do that so long as the people there are willing to be on camera. We can have some fun. That'll be kind of cool. Because Cinnabon will hang out. He's hung out before at parties. Can we tame Cinnabon in Classic WoW? I don't know exactly what this means, but I do know a lot of people at work are talking about Classic WoW, getting into the games. My buddy, coworker, is doing it. But can we tame Cinnabon? I guess so. I don't know what that really means. The final question here. How old is Cinnabon now? I know he's at least 2, because that's how long I've seen him around. He looked about the same age as he does now then, so I would say he's probably at least 4 plus, but I don't know. The vet says he's young, so I know that much. So, some of you have posted questions on other videos, because I probably should have been more clear, so I apologize, but in the 30,000 subscriber video, I asked to ask questions there, and a lot of you asked questions in other videos, so I may have missed those, but I tried to collect all of them, so I apologize if I missed your questions. And I'm sure a lot of you are going to ask questions in the question videos, and I don't know if I'll be able to get to those all, but if I notice any, I'll try to respond. Here we go. So I thought I would wrap this up with a couple of cool analytics. So I'll go ahead and share those for you. These statistics or analytics are for the last 28 days, so roughly a month. So the audience between male and female is 60% male, 40% female. It was 50-50 for a while, which is pretty interesting. So I'm sorry, ladies, if I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but I'm actually surprised that it's a majority male. As far as where the viewers are from, I have the top 5 countries here. United States comes out on top with 49% of the viewers. Next in place is the United Kingdom with 8.4%. Next is our neighbors to the north and to the east, Canada, at least where I live, 7.2% Canadian viewers. Next is Deutschland. I'm sure I butchered the pronunciation of that. Germany, 3.8%. This must be all the German Actually, it's probably the profile picture of that German flak turncoat and the G36. That's cool. And next is, last but not least, at least in the top 5, Australia, 2.8%. All you Australians out there, man, I feel for you with the thylacine, the Tasmanian tigers. I hope one day they will return, whether that be through genetics or hopefully they find a little Tasmanian tiger patch somewhere and hopefully leave them alone, because you all know what happened when people got involved with those things. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching, and if you've made it this far, that's admirable, because these videos are pretty long. It's not quite as brutal as watching the extended versions of Lord of the Rings, but I'm going to get hate for that. But my goodness, I've given it 2 tries, and I can't make it through those movies without, wanting to do something else. Hi, Cinnabon. How you doing, little buddy? Oh, gotta get your stretches in, huh? Oh, what a cutie. That was a fun questions and answer session, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. Thank you for joining us on our journey. Yeah. Thank you all for the questions. I apologize if I missed any. I think I got them all, but there might have been a couple stragglers. None of you asked anything bad. That was cool. So thanks for keeping it clean, and I hope you all have a terrific start of your week. Goodbye.